My new membership, the Copy Huddle, is now open. This is your budget-friendly way to get copy support. Each week, you can submit your copy for an audit where you'll get my personalized feedback on how to make it better. Plus, I'll help you plan your content each month, analyze your metrics, and answer your burning copy questions. Join by February 7th to access the beta rate and save $50 every month. Learn more at the link in the show notes.
You need help, like needed help yesterday. But where do you even start? How do you know you're ready to hire help in your business? What should you even hire for first? How can you make sure that they're successful and that you're getting the most bang for your buck? Today, we're looking at the 3 most important steps to take after you make the decision to hire. Being an online business owner is full of ups and downs. Some days you can't imagine going back to your 9-to-5, and other days you want to burn your whole business to the ground. We get it.
Welcome to Chaos to Conversions, a podcast of practical, no BS strategies to grow your online business. Each week, we're chatting about launching, copywriting, mindset, and more, so you can make sense of the chaos and do more of what works.
Join the conversation and let's grow together. Welcome back to Chaos to Conversions. Today, we are talking about something that I have seen so much of being posted at the time that I'm recording this. It's early January, so it is kind of hiring season. People make that oath close to the new year that they're going to get more help in their business this year. So there's been quite a bit of buzz all around hiring. So today, let's look at a couple tips and pointers to make sure that when you make the decision to hire for your business, it is the best decision that it can be and that you are getting the most for your money. The first thing after you decide to yourself, I think it is time for me to hire in my business. I think I really need some help. Let's make sure that we've clearly identified that it is the right time to hire for your business. So let's look at some of the kind of telltale signs about how you might know that you are ready for help in your business. And I've hired for my clients quite a few times, but I've also hired numerous contractors for my own business, including 2 different virtual assistants that work very closely with me and do some more sort of like generalized tasks. So between that and my clients, I do have a decent amount of experience in hiring, but I will tell you, it is much easier for me to hire for clients than for me to decide to hire. It was much easier to hire for them than it is for me to decide to hire for my own business. Because there was a period of time in 2024 where, I don't know how long it was, like maybe 5 months, so like almost half the year, that I didn't have any help. And then you start to feel like that pull of, you feel like you're working all the time. You don't really want to spend time on your business because all of the tasks that you find yourself doing are kind of maybe like the administration tasks or tasks that you didn't get into your business to like do in the first place. You know what I mean? And when you're doing everything by yourself, you might also start to feel like there's just so many different moving pieces in your business. So you have a lot of missed opportunities, or you start to notice that some balls are dropping. You're not being as consistent. You're not sending as many emails. These are just like examples. Or that in general, you just feel like really overwhelmed and you start missing deadlines. This is kind of vague because it could be like any business, right? But you're feeling like there's missed opportunities or that you're constantly like messing things up. You go to sit down at your desk or wherever you do your work from, and you very much feel like you are flying by the seat of your pants and you can't even remember like what it is that you wanted to do next. For that, I would also really suggest using a project management tool, but that sounds like another episode. But if you are really feeling that way, like you're working all the time, you really don't enjoy a lot of what you're doing because it just seems your business has grown maybe, and it just seems all very like trivial and nuanced, and not nuanced isn't the right word, but like trivial and busy work almost, that's what I was trying to say, then it might, and it probably is time for you to hire for your business. So the first thing after you decide to yourself that you feel like you need to hire is do that gut check, kind of go through that checklist that I just ran you through and see how much of that is true. For the purposes of this episode, we are going to say that all of that is true and you're like, yes, okay, I am ready to hire. Now, how the heck do I go about hiring? And what exactly should I be hiring for? So the second thing that I'm going to want you to do after you have sort of decided and you are definitely on the hiring train, you need to know exactly what it is that you're hiring for. And this is arguably one of the more common mistakes that I see in job posts where, and I see this a lot, not to pick on TPT life, but I see this a lot in the teachers pay teachers space where there will be a job posting and it's like, I'm looking for a general virtual assistant to help me with SEO and writing blogs and writing emails and creating my reels and answering customer support emails and Pinterest management. That is not to say that one person cannot do all of those things, because I have been there as said general virtual assistant and have done a lot of those things. But you kind of should be asking yourself, do I want someone to just take and get time back, to take tasks off my plate so I can get some time back in my business? There's no wrong answer. Or do I want to hire someone who is an expert in maybe one or two areas and really grow my business that way? Because you can't expect to hire somebody to write your emails, a copywriter, for example. You can't expect to hire someone for your emails who is also going to be absolutely stellar at putting together a kick-ass social media plan and managing your Pinterest and updating your website and uploading your digital products. If you want to grow with your emails and your email marketing, then hire somebody who specializes in email marketing. If you want to hire someone to maybe not grow per se, but get time back in your day so you can focus on, maybe you're really good at writing emails, but now it just feels like an absolute chore. You know what I mean? Because you're doing so many other things. Then I would look at, yes, hiring someone to just do some sort of random tasks to get some time back in your life. I just caution that second one, hiring a general virtual assistant and asking them to do 20 different things, because you can be really good at a couple things. It's unlikely that you're going to find someone who is excellent at absolutely everything. That is something that I've seen a lot, time and time again, when hiring for clients, especially when they want to hire a virtual assistant to do a lot of tasks. They're often disappointed in the result because they were hoping, right, that every task that they've hired them to do, which is maybe in 5 different buckets of their business, is going to be done perfectly and excellently. And they're also experiencing growth in all of these areas. But it's really hard for someone to be really good at copywriting, social media strategy, podcast editing, for example, and Pinterest management, and expect that person to do all of those things. In my opinion, that's at least, based on what I just said, that's at least 2 to 3 different hires for sure. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox with that now, but it is important to think about what exactly you're hiring first. So the first thing I want you to do is a time audit. By doing a time audit, what I want you to do is take a week. I know you needed help yesterday in your business, but take a week and write down every single thing that you do in your business and how long you are spending on each individual thing. Yes, I want you to write down, if you are take a 20-minute social media break. I'm talking write down everything that you do in what should be your working hours. So if you have a scheduled social media break or your lunch break and you're looking at Instagram, that's fine. But if you find yourself floating over to Instagram while you're supposed to be writing emails, I'm also guilty of this, just make sure that you note it down. After you do your time audit for the week, take a look at what tasks are you doing that are repeatable in that week? What tasks are you doing that you would classify as perhaps urgent in that it's something that has to be done in a timely fashion, like it's something that like can't wait. So maybe you send an email every Thursday, for example, and your list has come to depend and rely on that. That would be considered an urgent task. I mean, the wheels aren't going to fall off if you miss a 1 week of email, but as you might know, once you miss 1 week, it's easier to miss a second and then fall off the wagon there for a little bit. And are there tasks that you can delegate when you're looking back at the end of this week at all of the tasks that you completed in your business? We're looking for repeatable tasks, urgent or time-sensitive tasks, tasks that you can delegate. And then I also want you to think about what tasks do you most like to do? Like which ones light you up and which ones would you like to get rid of or that you least like to do? So you can grab a couple different highlighters. That's what I like to do when I do a time audit. It's the one time I wish a podcast was more visual, right? Because I could show you. I like to actually write down when I do this for myself, which I try and do. You really should do it quarterly. Realistically, it's great if you can get it done once or twice a year, especially like if your business is pretty like stable in the tasks that you're doing. Once a year might be sufficient, but sometimes seasons change, right? With like kids getting out of school and going back to school, or maybe your spouse or partner has like a busier season and you're responsible for more stuff during the home. This is a lot of variable here with your own individual life, but I like to do this, if possible, a couple times a year. Grab some different highlighters, look at a week, and then go ahead and highlight your urgent tasks, your tasks that you can delegate, what you like and what you don't like. The next thing that you are going to do once you have your tasks all kind of grouped together into repeatable tasks, urgent tasks, what you like and don't like to do, start to group similar things together. So tasks that are repeatable and that you do not like to do, those would be the ding, ding, ding winners for what you would like to outsource first. So if you don't like it and it's a repeatable process, this is what you can choose to outsource first. After you've grouped some of those tasks together, and if it's helpful, what I've seen people start to outsource the most first would be customer support, someone popping into the inbox once or twice a day. A lot of people who are in the CEO sort of spot, owner of their business, don't want to be in the inbox handling customer questions. And that is a great first thing to outsource. Additionally, if you have a free Facebook group or like a Facebook community or any kind of community, it doesn't have to be on Facebook. A lot of times people will hire and outsource with a community manager to get them started with a little bit more engagement and just improving their customer support experience. So those two roles, I think, could go together, customer support and a community manager. I think one person doing that would be just fine. Then there's, of course, other more specialized things that may or may not apply to your business, like Pinterest management, podcast management, especially if you're someone that happens to have a podcast and you're doing all of it yourself. That probably is taking up a lot of your time. Something to consider outsourcing for. Email marketing. Again, this is not a one size fits all because some people I know really, really like writing emails. Some people really do not like writing emails. So this is playing to your personal sort of strengths and likes and dislikes. Same with social media is a really easy, I don't want to say easy, it's a really popular thing for CEOs to outsource or at least some portion of social media. Once you've decided what you think you want to target for your first hire, again, looking at those things that are repeatable tasks and tasks that you do not really like to do, and you don't feel like you personally have to do them, the next thing I want you to do before you hire, before you write that job application, don't you do it just yet. I want you to go back and listen to episode 48, where I talk about writing and having standard operating procedures or SOPs for your business. And before you post that job application and hire, I want you to write as many SOPs as you can while you're doing these repeatable tasks that you're hiring for. Write the SOPs now before you are trying to hire somebody and pass them off the tasks and they're asking you a million questions and you're getting frustrated because you thought they should just know automatically what to do. Slow down the extra couple weeks before you hire and write the SOPs that you think they will need. It might not be a book of them. It's probably going to be anywhere between 2 and 5, but you'll be so much happier and they will be so much happier if they have something to go off of when you hire and onboard them. So do not pass go. Do not go any further until you have written a couple of SOPs to get your new hire started. So here's the third step. After I'm skipping over the actual writing and posting of the job application because that could honestly be a whole nother episode in itself. If you'd like an episode on that, will you DM me on Instagram and let me know if you think that would be something that would be helpful for you? I would love to know that because I didn't really plan on doing an episode on writing the job application and the actual hiring process. But if you think it would be helpful, I would be happy to do so. Okay, so step 3, have a plan for onboarding. So this is something that is also good to do before you actually hire. However, while the job application is posted, you could make your plan for onboarding. So before step 3, you're allowed, you have my permission to post the job application and start looking at candidates. The number one thing I want you to remember is I expect that most of you are probably hiring a 1099 contractor and not a W-2. So if you're hiring a W-2, tune me out here for a second, because another mistake I have seen with clients over the years is treating a 1099 contractor like they would a W-2 employee, which is a big no-no. You cannot tell a contractor when they can and when they can't work. That's what I've seen a lot, or like outlining like specific communication hours. Try not to do that. That doesn't mean that you can't have a wish list, so to speak, for your 1099 contractor. So your wish list might include that you would love for them to have a certain number of hours for response time. If you would like to hear from them once a week, once a day, that they can hopefully let you know when they're taking time off. If you have any team meetings that you would love for them to attend, should you have any other W-2 employees. I'm a 1099 contractor and I meet with my clients weekly, not all of them, but some of them weekly. Some of them I rarely meet with, but it's just having a conversation when you're onboarding them rather than expecting them to know what you want them to do as a contractor. So a communication outline or plan is a really good place to start. If there are other team members, like any other contractors that you work with, it would be great to have a conversation with your new hire about who they are. That way, if they need any help with anything specific and you use a project management tool or something like Slack, they would be able to reach out to your other team members and hopefully get the information that they might need. If you have a project management tool, I always like to include a little welcome board in your project management tool where you can leave your new hire things that they would need for whatever position you've hired for. So that might include brand colors, if they need like clip art or headshots or anything like that. Frequently asked questions that you get if you're talking from a customer support role. It's a great place to start with storing your SOPs that you've written before you even hired them. Anything that you think would just be helpful to get them started. If you're storing passwords in your project management tool that they would need, you could leave those there as well. So just a little welcome board, a one-stop shop, if you will, so they can find anything that they might want. The last tip that I would probably have and give you for having a plan for onboarding is making sure that you have some priorities, some things that you would like them to do within the first couple of weeks to kind of guide them. And then that way you'll know exactly what you're checking in on to give them feedback if they need any and start your relationship off on a really positive note that is communicative and open so you feel like you're working together towards the success of your business. Thank you so much for joining me today. When you are on the cusp of hiring, it is so important to know and guarantee that you feel like you're actually ready to hire. Then make sure that you're working through and solidifying exactly the roles and the tasks that you want to hire for. Step 3 is make sure that you've set your new contractor up for success by having a solid onboarding process and that you are thoroughly communicating with them when they start to work with you. If you need help writing any SOPs, which in my opinion is a super crucial part of hiring, I have a freebie that I will link for you in the show notes that has a list of SOPs that you might include in your business. Of course, this is kind of broad. You may take or leave some of these depending on your business. And it also has an SOP template that you can copy and use right in your own business. Thanks so much for joining me again this week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for stopping by to hang out with me today. If you want to learn more about how we can work together on a launch strategy or grab a freebie or one of the resources I mentioned, head over to duxburydigital.co/resources. I'll be back here next Tuesday for more practical strategies to take your business from chaos to conversions.